Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk, and thank you very much for joining me today. These are the things that I've been playing with today. I've got one of our mini pizza boxes here, and if I slide out the belly band like that, now if I open it up, what do you think is going to be inside? Is it going to be a treat or is it going to be a trick? Let's see. And inside I've got a couple of little gingerbread witch's cat cookies. Now I got these at my local co-op, alright, and some of them have got better expressions on them than others, so I picked a pretty looking one to be my front cat. Now the mini pizza boxes, they're in the autumn winter catalogue and they come in white, and as you can see this is not white, so if you stay with me I'll show you how I coloured it. So here's what I'm going to be playing with today. First and foremost, I've got the mini pizza box. This is the way they come. They come white, they come disassembled, so you have to put them together yourself, but it's very easy. I'll show you how in a little while. And on the inside they are shiny, okay, so that you can put you can put foodstuffs and things in there. So that's obviously the foundation of my box. I've got some bits of card for stamping and punching. Now as you can see I've already been at the basic black and the very vanilla, and I've also got some scraps of pumpkin pie. I've got some paper from the Spooky Nights set. So these are my little cats, which I've trimmed so that I can get the punch in there easily, and I'm going to be using a 3-inch strip of this piece. Okay. I'm going to be stamping with the Spooky Cat stamps and archival basic black ink, and this is just some rubbing alcohol. If you're in the UK and can't get hold of rubbing alcohol very easily, Surgical Spirit will work fine, or you can just use water. I'm using alcohol because it dries quickly, and I'm going to be colouring that with some pumpkin pie re-inker. And I'm going to be making use of 3 punches. I've got the 2 1/4 inch circle, the cat, and the starburst. I've covered my work surface and I'm wearing gloves just to keep my hands clean. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the pumpkin pie re-inker into the rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to go with a few drops. About 15 in there, which should be plenty. So put the top back on and give that a very good shake. Let's see how that looks over here. Okay, and that is why you protect your work surface, because it doesn't always come out where you think it's going to. Okay, so I'm now going to spray my pizza box with my pumpkin pie spray. Okay, tighten that up. Okay, there we go. That's coming out in all directions. And I'm just going to spray until I'm happy with the depth of colour. Which I think is about now. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that for a few minutes to dry, and we'll be ready to decorate it. I'm going to stamp Trick or Treat onto my piece of Very Vanilla here. So I'm going to ink up my stamp with a sort of twisting motion, and because I've got that onto the block, shouldn't come out my Very Vanilla, but just to be on the safe side, to be sure, I'm just going to wipe that off. And because this is a photopolymer stamp, I can see where I'm stamping, and I've also got my silicone mat underneath to give it a little bit of squishability. Now because this isn't a massively intricate or detailed stamp, the silicone mat should be fine. If I know some people do prefer a piercing mat. And all of that talking has given me time to allow the ink to transfer, and I'm very happy with that. I'm going to have a black cat, not a ginger cat, on the front of my box, even though I've got gingerbread cats inside. And this is why I've trimmed my paper in this rather funny wiggly sort of way. It's so that I can get my punch in easily, and I decided that for one sheet of this paper I wanted all the cats. Okay, if I want the pattern, I've still got the other piece of paper in the same pattern, because you get 2 of each in your DSP stack. So I'm just lining that up so I've got just a tiny little bit of an outline around the cat, and punch him out. There you go. Is he a boy cat or a girl cat, do you think? Is that a Tom or a Queen? I'm not sure. Could be either. Okay. So I'm going to punch out a pumpkin pie starburst for the cat to sit on, and a basic black 2¼ inch punch. Punch? Circle. Oh. Yes, I get into trouble when I try to move and speak at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to layer those up just like that. Okay, and I'm going to do one more thing on my little cat. This paper, which is the same as the paper that I'm going to wrap around the box, if I turn it over, it's got lots of little witches' hats on it. So I think I'm going to give my cat a little witchy hat, and I'm trying to decide which pattern I'm going to give him, and I think I like that one. Okay, so I'm going to cut it out, and I'm just going to leave a tiny little bit of the very vanilla, which is the base colour of this paper, just showing. Okay, just so that, oh gosh, I don't know if you can hear that. Outside it is blowing an absolute gale. It is a lovely sunny afternoon and it's really warm, but it is blowing a mad one out there. It's because we've got the tail end of a hurricane. And it's just grazing where I'm living, but if you're in Ireland, I gather you're having a really bad time. So if you're watching me from Ireland, I do hope that you're okay and everything's all right. Okay. Right, so I have that one, and maybe I'll try cutting out some other patterns and see what it looks like, and I'll make a decision when I come to put the whole thing together. Now I'm going to assemble the box. This bit with the flaps is the base, and this bit is the lid. So I'm going to just fold up along the score lines, all right, and I'm going to make sure my flaps are tucked in. Now I've actually been a little bit too generous with the old alcohol spray, so this probably should have more time to dry properly, but for the purposes of this demonstration we'll pretend that that didn't happen. Okay, so there is my box base. The lid comes over and fits inside, and the flap fits inside just there. So now, before I get carried away and wrap the box up, I want to make sure I remember to put the treats in. So I've got my 2 little gingerbread cats, and by a process of trial and error I have discovered that 3 is too many for this little box. 2 is just about perfect. Obviously you could just put 1 if you only wanted to give 1 treat, and I've just put my 2 little cats into a little food safe gusseted bag and tied it with a bit of black baker's twine and some shimmering black ribbon. So that's going to sit in there just like that, and all I have to do is to bring the lid up and over and tuck in the flaps, and now all I need to do is to put some decoration on. So here is the piece that I'm going to wrap around the outside of the box, and I'm just going to kind of pretty much eyeball where I want it to go and just rub that down with my fingers. Okay. And just kind of crease it where I want it to sit. Okay, just so that it's not too loose, and then let's put a bit of snail in the end here. And just bring that over nice and snug. Okay, now I want you to be able to slide that off, but I don't want it to fall off, so I think that is just about right. I'm just going to sharpen those creases just by pinching them with my fingers. Okay, so all I've got to do now is to put on the me witch's cat. So let's begin with putting the starburst onto the black circle, and they are a perfect fit. They're designed that way. Alright, and that's going to sit into the middle of the card just like that, and I'm going to keep it flat because I am going to raise up the cat. Okay, oops, let's put that where I want it. Let's try and straighten that up a bit for you, or your eyes will go funny. Okay, there we go. And the cat we will pop on with a few dimensionals, and he doesn't have his hat yet, or she doesn't have her hat yet, because she could be a girl witch's cat, or he could be a boy witch's cat. Okay, you know, it's not a given. Boy cats can be witches' cats, and girl cats can be witches' cats. It's allowed. Okay. Right, so let's decide which hat is going to look the best on the cat. And it's going to... Shall we have that one? Or shall we have that one? A jaunty angle, or shall we go with basic black? What do you think? And I think I like the one that I cut out first, so there you go. I'm going to go with that one. So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive on the back of this, and it is kind of my adhesive of choice, is liquid adhesive. So let's put this at a jaunty angle. Okay, just like that. Just like that. Okay. And last of all, we've got the trick or treat banner, and a couple of things that I decided that I was going to pop on at the last minute is the black rhinestone jewels. So I've got one there. I've trimmed my very vanilla down, and I've put the little flags onto the ends, the little banners onto the ends, and I did that just by clipping in with my scissors halfway and then cutting up to the to where I'd already cut. Okay, so are we going to we'll dimensional those up as well? Why not? Why on earth not? Yeah. There we go, all ready for when the trick-or-treaters come around on Halloween. Okay, and there it is, all finished. Now, just to recap, I've kind of hurried through this one for the purposes of filming. Really, you need to give the the box a good time to dry out before you go putting stuff inside. I'm going to eat those, so I'm going to take the risk. I'm not going to give them to anybody. And again, if you want to know where I got the gingerbread cat biscuits or cookies, well, they came from my local co-op. But I do hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if so, then I'd be dead thrilled if you'd give me a like or leave me a comment, and I'd be absolutely thrilled skinny if you came back and joined me again in the near future. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.